All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praises and glory and honors to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Marakah Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone of Well. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect, the Bayath Dawadah, the house of David. So let me just show you brothers this real quick. All right. It says U.S. military buildup versus peace talks. What the 82nd Airborne deployment means. You see, Iran wars update. So if they in peace talks, why are you deploying the 82nd Airborne out there, right? Goes to show you that this man's a fucking liar, man. All right? You see, the Iranians, right? They're not talking about any damn peace, man. First and foremost, you done killed their supreme leader, the Ayatollah. Right? The Ayatollah, what is it, Kalahimi or Khomeini, right? And then now his son is in. You done killed his father. You done killed his wife. You done killed his children, right? You done killed some of the regime leaders that were over there. You think they looking to talk about peace, man, and talking about giving you an opening to the Strait of Hormuz, man? They're not with that shit, man. They're not feeling that shit, Esau, right? They already gave you an ultimatum, man. All right. They still looking at bad. They want their get back, man. You see? They want their get back, man. We talking about the ancient Elamites, man. All right? The Persians, man. You see? They're not ready to end this thing just like that. Oh, well, we done. We gonna let you done killed all our people off, right? And everything is gonna be good. We gonna open up the Strait of Hormuz to you, man. The hell is you talking about, devil? See, Esau is delusional, man. Nero 47 is fucking delusional, man. You see? Delusional, man. Okay? Absolutely delusional, man. All right? Him and BB, man. Delusional as hell. They gonna continue to keep sending attacks on your ass, man. You see? Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is in control of this thing, man. All right? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is in control of this thing. Even though we know that this is not the end, but this is steps towards it, man. This is steps towards the ultimate World War III. Now, we know we got to go through Jacob's trouble. Jeremiah 30:7, Daniel 12:1, right? You see? RFID microchip, Revelation 13:16, all the way down. You see? Revelation 2:10, 2nd Ezra 16, chapter 15, chapter 16. All those things must come to pass before the end, right? Like Yahweh Shai spoke about in Matthew, the 24th chapter. You can start at the 6th verse. Okay? See, you devils think that you're going to get away, but here, man, listen here. Let's go here to the scripture, man. This is Psalms 58th chapter and the 3rd verse. It says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. And that's what this man is all about. Speaking lies, man. See, a lot of these news medias are what you call Operation Mockingbird, man. All right? They're just regurgitating whatever the other news media may come out with. You got to go to alternative news a lot of times. You want to get the full truth, man. All right? You want to get the real 100% truth. Man, listen, if there's the talks between them is going like, nah, fuck that. That's how the talks is going. Nah, fuck that. We not about to just say peace and call it a day, man. All right? You see, let's go ahead and play this video here without further ado, man.
So the United States, we are told, is ramping up its military presence in the Middle East even as the diplomatic efforts continue, and they would have us believe that there are constant negotiations, conversations that it is having with Iranian counterparts. Around 1,000 soldiers from the Army's 82nd Airborne Division are currently expected to be deployed to the region in the coming few days. This move adds to the growing military firepower amid the rising tensions. This also comes in at a time, remember.
Let's get this here. Exodus 15:3. All right, Exodus 15:3. It says this: the Lord Yahweh is a man of war. The Lord Yahweh is his name. All right. Let me get Proverbs 21. Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. So the Heavenly Father is in control of this thing, man. You see? Yahweh Bashem Yahshai got the will. Okay? They driving this thing to where they want it to go. And they're going to want it to go to where Esau, Edom is going to be destroyed. You see? It's just the prophecies. The last few dregs of prophecies have to take place, man. Especially that MOTB. That has to take place, right? This devil, what he's doing behind the scenes, all these things, he's getting his eye off everything to set up this new world order. All right? You see? Let's set up this new world order. Henceforth, why the Heavenly Father is putting this thing together. Why you think all these nations are creating them, getting their military weaponry up and going? For Joel, the 3rd chapter, the 9th verse, man. All right? You see? You're about to bring all of them over into the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is Yahweh Shaphat, Yahweh's judgment. You see, eventually after all these things go down, eventually after that MOTB, eventually after all hell breaks loose here in Babylon, we in the midst of Jacob's trouble, man. It's going to ramp up even more, man. You see, I don't know if they went up there and told you, but that's what's going on. You see, this is what's happening. This is going on in front of your face. But a lot of these people are damn sleep, man. They in a deep sleep, man. But the men of the Lord, we ain't in a deep sleep. We got the eye solved to see, man. You see? We had the eye solved to see what's going on. Henceforth, that's why videos are coming up daily, left and right. Boom, boom. Here's another video. Here's another one. Here's another one. And another one. You see? Scoring layups after layups, dunks after dunks. Brothers just throwing videos up, man. Of edification, man. You see? Showing you what's going on. But a lot of you people are just blind to the fact because you enjoying, you living in mirth. We not in a time of that right now. We in a time of this right here. Ecclesiastes, right? The 3rd chapter, right? Let's start at the 1st verse. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Okay? Now let's jump down here to verse number 8. All right? A time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace. And we're nowhere in a time of peace. The time of peace is going to come when Yahweh Shai come and set up our kingdom here on the earth, an eternal kingdom forever, the divine kingdom. That's when the time of peace is going to come, right? You see, when the wicked are in authority, the people mourn, but when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. You see that? Right? Proverbs, I think it's 29:2. Matter of fact, let's go get that. Yep. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. You see that? Okay? Right? Now let's go back into that Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, Salakia. The 3rd chapter, and let's go back to the 8th verse. Right? Let's read it again. It says, a time to love and a time of hate. Right? You see? And our enemies, right? We in a time of, listen here, we exposing all our enemies, man. Our enemies have had hatred against us, and we got hatred against you too, devils. All of you other nations, bruh. You see? We ain't got no love for you other nations. All right? Just like you ain't had no love for us, you ain't show us no mercy. We damn sure ain't gonna show you no mercy in the kingdom, man. We gonna bust your ass in the kingdom. Especially Esau, Edom. We gonna bust your ass in the kingdom, man. You gonna get it, my man. All right? Alligator bait, all the things that you have done, cut the babies open, other women, and let them fall out on the ground. You stomp their heads out. All the murder and genocide that you committed, the trial of tears. You think we forgot about that? You think the Lord forgot about that? The slavery you put us on slavery ships, right? On cargo slave ships, and packed us in like sardines, man. Right? You see? Butt breaking. Think we forgot about all that, man? The Lord ain't forget about none of that, man. You devils are gonna be through. You devils are in trouble. We put your ass on trial right now, right in front of you. You on trial. Yahweh Shem Yahshua is putting you on trial by the prophets, man. All right? You're through. Your kingdom is done. It will be expurgated, eviscerated, and fried, dyed, and laid to the side. Thus saith Yahweh Shem Yahshua. All right? A time of war and a time of peace. You see? So we ain't nowhere near a time of peace. We in a time of war. And ultimately, World War III will be the end of all, be it all. All right? Okay? So without further ado, let's play the rest of this video and we're going to close.
Remember when President Donald Trump has said that Washington is engaged in these conversations with Iran to bring an end to the conflict and also is now looking at this 30-day ceasefire window. The parallel push, military buildup alongside negotiations, signals a dual-track strategy as the US seeks to maintain pressure while keeping diplomatic channels open. Here's a CNN report.
Started.
Colonel Layton, so the commanding general deploying, we saw that, and then that there's 1,000 that could be ready to deploy really at a moment's notice, and they could be there within hours. But what does it mean when the commanding general has already been deployed? Does that mean this is a sure thing?
Not necessarily, but what it does mean is that that commanding general is part of the planning process, an integral part of the planning process. And when you've got a unit like the 82nd Airborne Division, which has amazing capabilities, you need a lot of intricate work in the planning process to actually make these deployments as effective as possible. So if the commanding general deploys like we're reporting that he will be, that then means that they're going to be really paying attention to everything that's here, whether he does stuff here in the Strait of Hormuz or at Karg Island, or he's just held in reserve. He's still planning for some kind of mission, or it could even include the nuclear missions that are potentially part of what the 82nd Airborne could potentially do. But it is critical that he's there.
Right, right. And of course, that raises all kinds of questions about that nuclear material could be in so many different places. What do they know, where it is, and going in? And I know you've talked extensively about that. You know, what do these deployments, the Marine deployments also that we've seen, that we know are en route, multiple.
Yes.
See, it's funny. Why you ramping up firepower when you said that you in peace talks? You see right here, you see the contradiction right here? A lot of contradiction going on by this man. All right? You see? Because Yahweh Shem Yahushai is in control of this thing, man. There ain't going to be no peace talks, man. All right? There ain't going to be no peace talks, man. It's going to go where it need to go, man. Because Yahweh Shem Yahushai is in the midst of this thing, man. It may calm down, it may not, but I doubt it because Yahweh Shem Yahushai is in the midst of this thing, man. We too close to the end of this man's kingdom. You see? We're too close to the end of your kingdom, and your kingdom is going to fall, man. Right? What did Yahweh Shai say? Yahweh Shai said he sees Satan fall as lightning. Luke 10 and 18, it says, and he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fell from heaven. So this man's going to fall out of his rulership. This man is done. All right? His rulership, his kingdom is going to be obliterated. It's going to end. Right? This place is going to be a desert. Babylon the Great will be a desert. Right? Okay? Let's go back.
What does that mean that the U.S. could do?
So when you look at, this is the USS Tripoli as it's going through the Strait of Malacca with the 31st Marine Expeditionary
Off
Unit.
Singapore.
And plus, this kingdom is divided amongst itself. As you can see, right? Let's go into this. Let's go back into the scriptures. The kingdom divided amongst itself. How shall it stand? Let me go here. All right, let me do this. Here we go right here. Matthew 12 and 26. And if Satan casts out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? You see that? How shall then his kingdom stand? It's not going to stand, man. Because they're divided amongst each other. You got Nero 47. He beefing with NATO, which is going to cause his constituents to send off missiles on this place eventually, man. They're going to get tired of the whore. They're going to send off missiles on this whore. And they're going to want to burn it. Revelation, the 17th chapter. You see, in the 16th verse, I think it is. All right? They're going to want to burn this whore, man. You see? Okay? Habakkuk Habakkuk, the second chapter. Right? You can jump down to about I think it's the 7th verse. Matter of fact, let's go there real quick. Yep. Yeah, right there. Right there it says, shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them, talking about us, the Israelites, right? You see, but first and foremost, I wanted to get Obadiah. That's the one I really wanted. All right, Obadiah, right, where he had laid a wound under thee. The book of Obadiah, the first chapter, right? And let's go down to here. The 7th verse. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, and there is no understanding in him. You see that? And that's talking about his constituents, man. Talking about NATO Eden's constituents. NATO and the EU, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and the European Union. You see? Because Nero 47 was talking hella shit about them, man. And J.D. Vance talking hella shit. You see? He talking all this madness, you talking all that BS, right? But you're gonna eventually cause your constituents, right, to shoot missiles on you, man. And they're gonna burn this whore, man, right along with the other ones come Russia, China, North Korea, South Korea, all these major nations that have capabilities of long-range nuclear warheads, right, and missiles, right, are gonna eventually obliterate you, man. They're gonna India, right? They're gonna come to the aid of these other nations, Ezekiel the 38th chapter. You see? This is all gonna go down, man. All right?
It's off Singapore, that's right. And then you also have the Boxer Amphibious Ready Group with the 11th MEU, Marine Expeditionary Unit, and it's ready to go because what they basically have are these kinds of capabilities. They have ground capabilities, air capabilities, and sea capabilities. And, you know, just take a look quickly at the air. You have an Osprey here that is capable of landing on ships like the Boxer. You have ground capabilities, and this is basically where the Marine Infantry comes in and does its job. It could take a beachhead, it could take an airfield. They could do all kinds of things. They can set up very quickly, and their force is exceptionally lethal. And of course, you have the Amphibious Ready Group, which deploys these amphibious vehicles into the sea and ready to go and hit the beach. And that's where the Marines would basically storm ashore if they were to take something like, let's say, Karg Island, for example.
Right, even the Strait, but of course, and then the questions of what resistance do they meet and at what cost? I mean, right. So where could this realistically happen? I mean, you mentioned Karg Island, we're talking about the Strait, but, and just the difficulty, as I mentioned, of, you know, some of those places are mountainous.
Absolutely.
Places to hide, places to attack from above, all of those things.
Absolutely. So when you look at, this is the Strait of Hormuz right here, obviously. You have this area that is really so narrow, 21 miles across, a shipping lane that's only 2 miles across, and they have to maneuver through all of these.
See, the least of the flock shall draw them out, Jeremiah 49:20. See that? And that's them tiny tops, the small hats, that drew them into this water. And this is all a part of prophecy, man. This is all a part of prophecy because they're going to go over into Megiddo, which is north of Israel, right? That's a huge mountain over there. It's like a desert, right? But it's a mountain over there, and plenty of different battles have took place over there, man. You see? Okay?
Right here. You mentioned topography, Zagros Mountain.
Call it Armageddon, a mountain of troops. See?
Right here. This is a very tough terrain. And to top it all off, you have the Navy base, the Iranian Navy base at Bandar Abbas. So there's some significant military installations right here. This is a tough nut to crack if you're going to do something militarily here. And then if your desired mission is to go after Karg Island, you have to do this first in order to get to this in most cases, because that is going to be critical.
And sail past all of those places, which right now ships, including U.S. destroyers, are not sailing.
Exactly.
Because of those fears.
That's exactly right.
And this with thousands of American lives on board.
Now, Iran has claimed that US forces have taken significant hits in the air as they hit an American F-35 fighter jet during clashes, leaving its pilot wounded by shrapnel. And if true, this would be the first time during the war that an F-35, the cornerstone of Washington's aerial firepower, has been struck by Iran. Iran's also said that as many as 20 aircrafts may have been lost in the confrontation. This, remember, paints a really grim picture of the escalating tensions. Yet so far, Washington remains silent on the matter. With questions now mounting about the scale of the losses and the future of the US strategy in the region, this particular development marks a troubling turn in the conflict. Let's now take a look at the US F-35. Why are we calling it a cornerstone as far as the American air power?
See, because first and foremost, their plans was to go over there and get a hold of the Strait of Hormuz, right? To set up a puppet leader, to take over their central bank, right? You see? And do all these things like that to set up their new world order. This is what you call the Greater Israel Project, right? So they can take over, so the small hat can take over a mass majority of the land. This is what they're trying to do, you see? And they create their global new world order, all right? Just to break it down for you.
What is concerned, the military heft is concerned, and there is some reason why this becomes a sticking point and why this become a thorny issue, particularly for Washington, over the claims that Iran is making of having downed this jet and the pilot having been wounded. So first thing first, this preparation, and we are in fact looking at another set of graphics here where we...
And also to steal their resources, right? The uranium that they got over there, the gold, right? Especially take over that one big, huge spot that they have over there in that one island, which is where a lot of the oil is at, where they trade and ship between China and many different other nations and things of that nature, man. Okay? Talking about Iran, right? You see? They've been running down on Iran for a long time, talking about Esau Edom, right? These devils, okay? Setting up puppet leaders, puppet regimes, right? You know, just taking advantage of them, man. You see? And they tired of that. You know, and they tell them, get your ass up out of here. Get your U.S. bases up out of here, man. Get your shit up out of here. All right? We tired of you devils. So that's how we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahshua, we think them talks are nothing but BS on the other side, man. Talking about on Nero 47 side, man. All right, because they're not trying to hear that, man. Talking about Iran, they're not trying to hear that, man. All right, because you devils and did what you did, you came over there, you and murdered their leaders, man. All right, and you killed a bunch of the kids off, and you think they ain't forget about that, man. Killed a whole bunch of kids. Kids, man. That was already, this devil doesn't have any remorse at all, man. And that's why this devil's going to be taken down, man.
Would be discussing the troops that are on ground. But let's first talk about the F-35. The F-35 stealth fighter jet. So it refers to a family of stealth strike fighters. This is how it looks. And it's very important for the US air power because it is manufactured by US aerospace company, which is Lockheed Martin. Another important aspect, if we take a look at what it commands, it claims, US in fact has gone on to say that this is the most advanced fighter jet in the world, not just America, in the world. That is the claim that the United States has been making. It also says that F-35 has a combination of stealth technology and advanced sensors. Those advanced sensors also keep any kind of munition being put on it be very, very guided, and also the detection becomes really less. And this is the other point. It is engineered in such a way that it is less detectable. Another important aspect, and that becomes very, very important when there is a volatile climate and where you want the F-35s to at least enter the enemy volatile territory without detection. Let me bring in Siddhant back on the broadcast, and he's joining me here in the studio. Siddhant, F-35, so far not a peep from Washington.
And that 444, call halal, Lahabanawa Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Arakar Kwadash. You see? 444, mercy. All right?
They are not talking about whether or not this was downed by Iran, but the pilot did suffer certain injuries because of shrapnel-related wounds. What do we know so far?
Well, that's right. Greha, it's kind of a first official announcement coming from the US side that a pilot of F-35 is injured because of the shrapnels. That's what they are saying. There is no other details that that have been shared with the media. Now, the question it raises, Greha, perhaps so far we understand United States air superiority. They have stealth aircrafts, etc., etc. But this would perhaps be the first time, if proven in the investigation, that this was hit by surface-to-air missile. This F-35 was hit by a surface-to-air missile. This was perhaps for the first time in the history that F-35 is down in the surface-to-air missile hit. Also, it proves that. Now, stealth doesn't mean that a particular aircraft cannot be targeted. It only reduces that aircraft being targeted using radars, infrared, so on and so forth. So it again proves that so far, there was no assessment of Iran possessing air defense systems which could bypass a radar and use passive infrared to target these F-35s and stealth aircrafts. So as I said, that if proven in an investigation, and I'm sure this will come out in due course of investigation, that this wasn't hit by surface-to-air missile of Iran, it means that Iran has a very effective defense systems, and they can bypass radar and use passive infrared to target even the stealth aircrafts. So definitely this is for the first time, as I said, that the U.S. aircraft getting hit by surface-to-air missile by Iran, and Iran having this technology to bypass radars and to target these stealth aircrafts.
So important developments. America so far is not really agreeing or disagreeing completely to what are the claims that Iran's making.
All right, so, right there, as you can see it, man, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Marakah Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone Ruel. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect, to Bayat Dawadah, the house of David. Kwam Yasha'Allah, Abba Babal, Shalom.